Hello, welcome to Drahbarni Man episode 8. Basically, I've been asked to carry out a spell. Someone's using some pretty dark stuff against an individual, possibly has an attachment. So what I'm going to do is a simple binding. I'm not going to bind him from doing the lighter stuff, but I will ban him from doing the darker stuff. So the way I'm going to do this, so last night, my partner, she was here communicating with the person in question, and so at the same time I used what we make up called a root onslaught. It's basically exorcism in a bottle. It looks like this pretty green colour here. So, and what you do, you anoint a candle. So I put that on the candle and left the candle to burn down overnight. So we had constant protection whilst we were there. So the candle I used, the intention was set against this person using the darker stuff. So I've made a small poppet, not the best of poppets, I had hastened to add. However, I've used the candle base as part of the binding. So all I'm going to do is just bind him from doing the darker stuff. And so he leaves the person that he's trying to affect alone. And we'll do this now. So obviously the candle used with the Rue Onslaught is obviously representative of the face. As you know, most of this is intention. The props and stuff are just more to do with, so you can do the binding, get the right positioning and stuff like that. So I'm going to start off here. I bind you from doing harm to yourself and harm to other people. I bind you from doing harm to yourself and other people. I bind you from doing harm to yourself and other people. I bind you from doing harm to yourself and other people. I bind you from doing harm to yourself and other people. I bind you to do harm bind you from doing harm to yourself and other people. I bind you from doing harm to yourself and other people. I bind you from doing harm to yourself and other people. So this is going to take away his sight, his third eye, if you like. As you can see, he's now blinded to it. This binding I cast, I ask that light be restored and darkness disappears. I ask that light is restored and darkness disappears. I ask that lightness restores and darkness disappears. I ask that lightness appear and lightness restores and darkness disappears. Lightness restores and darkness disappears. 7's my lucky number, so I'll use 7. And again, obviously, the enchantment guys, I'm saying it in my head anyway, but I just want to give you a quick example of that. So in theory now he should only be able to use the lighter stuff with this Rue Onslaught. This is quite good stuff. Well, like I said, we make this up for a lot of the paranormal investigation teams and stuff. Rue Onslaught we call it, and we do them in spell necklaces and stuff like that. So this person's now bound, which should allow us enough time to be able to get in there and remove the attachment from him. So as you can see, so now what I need to do is to bag this up. A black bag's always the best, really. If you haven't got a black bag though, old sock or something like that will do. Just something black, something to obviously clothe the darkness. What have we got around here? Black. Okay. So I'm just going to use a sock. Okay. So it's clean. So I'm going to put little Poppet Man into the sock. I bind you from doing dark, only light. 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 I now fold the sock in half. I fold the sock again. And then there is, put it into a bag of sorts. Obviously guys, the most important thing is setting up the we don't want to waste that on him. Okay, so as you can see, he's all sealed up in the sock. Clean sock, so don't worry. But it's black, it's dark enough. And all I will do now, to tie a knot in the end of it, I'll seal it with wax. And I will bury it at crossroads. I will let the person involved who is worried about it being cast against and let him know that he should be safe, and let him know if he has any further problems to give me a shout. I've been Drahbarni Man, this is episode 8. Thank you very much for watching.